This is the Coach's Wife Life podcast. I'm Kristen Eargle, your host, a former TV sports reporter and fellow college football coach's wife. I'll go one-on-one with the strong women who are the backbone of college athletics and athletics of all levels. And now, Coach's Wife Life.
This podcast is brought to you by Ruler of Hope. Ruler of Hope is a nonprofit that supports medically fragile children. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible donation, you can use Venmo at Ruler-Hope or online at rulerofhope.org.
Hey there, I'm Kristen Eargle. We have an exciting podcast ahead. But first, I want to talk about something we all know way too much about: moving. Just the thought of that can bring an unsettling emotion. Well, I found a team that can take that load off your plate. It's D1 Relocation. This group can do it all. They can organize your move, coordinate with a moving company, and a trusted real estate agent. They can actually vet key household partners such as schools, insurance agents, physicians in the area. They can even help set up your Wi-Fi and water. It's incredible. So I've come to know this team, which is actually founded by a coach's wife. I think you should check it out, whether you're looking to move now or in the future. It's d1relocation.com. Now on to our awesome podcast. I am so honored to have my next guest. It's Natasha Adams, wife of Coach Mike Adams, Linebackers Coach at Virginia. You are also the AMCWA president. Thank you for being a part of us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here with you.
We have a ton to talk about today, especially as it comes to the convention coming up. We'll get to that. But let's talk about you and your coach. So let's talk about game days for you. Describe yourself in 3 words on game day.
I would say excited, nervous, and prayerful, because I'm praying all, just depending on the game, I'm praying at time.
Amen to that. Okay, what's your coach like in 3 words?
Mike, he's cool, calm, and collective. He is. He really is.
Well, you guys have had stops there, obviously, Mercer, West Georgia, South Carolina State, among other things. What do you think makes your husband special as a coach?
I would say he's truly a hard worker, and he's diligent. And that's one of the main things that I admire so much about him, that he is. And he puts so much into his players, into wherever we're at, he puts a lot into making sure that he gives the most to the university and, of course, to his players.
Okay, so where did you grow up? Did you ever envision this life as a coach's wife?
No. So I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina, and I played in the band in high school. But I didn't pay attention to the football games. I just knew when we scored a touchdown, it was time to play the fight song. I never imagined myself as a coach's wife. But now I couldn't even imagine my life without being one. I attended South Carolina State for undergrad. For my graduate studies, I attended University of South Carolina and Webster University. And I'm also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and Jack and Jill of America. I have 2 children, Tajon and Sasha. I began my career working in social work and then later transitioned into working in HR. I currently work remotely for Sun Life Insurance, and I serve as a senior client advocate.
Wow, incredible. I love it. So, I mean, how do you balance working full-time and kids and moving around? Now, it's probably a little bit easier working remote, but obviously you do have times where you haven't been able to work remote. I mean, walk me through some of that.
So I will say working remotely, especially in this profession, is a blessing. Before that, I'd have to leave my role wherever I was at to support my husband so that we all could remain together as a family. So whenever he did gain a new position, It was good, but it was stressful on me at the same time because now I'm trying to navigate um, leaving a job and I've left several jobs that I truly loved, um, but trying to find a new role, and also with my children, making sure that there isn't any disruption for them in regards to school. So I would say this move, when we moved to Virginia, this was probably one of the easiest moves that I've experienced because my job goes wherever I am. So, but it can be hard if you aren't working remotely.
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
So when we talk about on the podcast, one of my top questions I always ask is, going through adversity, how it changes you, how you deal with it. What about for you stands out when you talk about walking through adversity? What has been the biggest trial that you faced?
Oh, I would say probably the first time that we were fired, and it was hard. Mike hadn't been fired prior to that, so we experienced it together for the first time, and so it was stressful. I had so many different emotions going on. I felt betrayed. I was upset for myself, but I was upset for my husband as well. But anyone, if you are blessed to work in this profession long enough, um, you will eventually deal with that, which is unfortunate. But I would say throughout that situation, it increased our faith, and it also made us closer because we had to rely on each other to truly get through that hard situation. But
When you talk,
I said it's
yeah,
been.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I was just saying, but we've been blessed that throughout those times we haven't been in transition for a long time. So I consider that a blessing.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think you're right. And the unfortunate aspect to this is if someone hasn't been fired, it's probably going to happen. I
Mhm.
can't imagine it not in someone's lifetime. The of coaching, when we think about it, you talked about you were stronger as a family. When you're dealing with some of that, when you're talking to your husband and maybe he's applying for another job and didn't get it, and you have nothing to, how do you keep him encouraged through that?
Well, I would say because I know I'm naturally a stressor, because I don't want to add any additional stress on him. I didn't let that show. Any feelings that I had, any doubts that I had, um, I did a good job with keeping it to myself because I didn't want to add any additional stress to him.
And where do you go for strength? I mean, how do you stay steady and not show it? That's the hard thing though, because we want to be a rock for our families and not ride the highs and the lows. Where do you go for strength?
Well, I would say, and I know that we'll eventually um, discuss AFCWA, but I've gained some, besides my core girlfriends that I have that are non-football wives, but I've, created some great friendships through wives that I met because of AFCWA. And so they understand some of the challenges or many of the challenges that we deal with um, being in a coaching family. So being able to go and vent to someone that truly understands, I believe that's been helpful to me. And also, I try to meditate just to calm my nerves as well.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about the AFCWA. You're now the president of the
Yes.
organization, the American Football Coaches Wives Association. How has that organization played such a vital role in your life?
Well, I'll go back to um, when we went through that first firing, and I was so confused. I was embarrassed, and so some of the feelings that I had, it was hard talking with family and friends about it. And I actually had another coach's wife that was familiar with the organization because I didn't know about the organization. And truthfully, Mike had been going for years, and I didn't think that that was something that wives attended. So when we were going through that, and I had a wife share with me about the organization, I took it upon myself to research and eventually joined. And I made sure that next year that I joined. And so my first convention that I attended was actually in 2018 in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's what, yeah. And, I said, like, it's amazing. That was my first convention. And I never expected to become the president. And now, I'm excited because my presidency will roll into this convention that's coming up in Charlotte. So it's a full circle for me. I started there, and now I'm serving as president next year at convention.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so encouraging. And same story for me as well. My husband had gone for years to the convention, and I didn't even know why I went. Like, you'd hear, but you didn't hear. And so I don't even remember my first convention. It was not too long ago. And it is so inspiring to be around other women that are living this life. And sometimes it's nice to have these connections across the country where you're not on the same staff. It's not like you're going to say anything that's truly confidential, but the same feelings that you're going through. And whether they're in high school or NFL or small college, Power 4 like yourself, we all have some sort of the same emotions that we're going through. And it's just been really incredible. So when you, we will get eventually to some other programs we're excited to talk about for this coming year. But for you, you talked about a tough time to move when you've had to move, and then this will be in the easier move to Virginia. When you get settled in, how do you get connected to, let's talk practical things. How do you get connected into a new community? What are the easiest ways for you to tap in?
So I would say for me, what has been helpful for me is my sorority. I would join the local chapter so that I could get connected with members in the community. That way I could learn about finding a church, best restaurants, and I also still utilize the staff for help with locating new doctors, the dentists, and just learning about the town. But I've always made it a point to have a life outside of football as well. So I would say that that my sorority has been extremely helpful with that.
Okay, do you have any moving tips for us? How many times have you moved?
Let's see. Is this maybe my fourth move, I believe. And one of the best things that I could say is, consistently purge. Because I remember that first move, I didn't realize how much I had accumulated, and I ended up having to give away so much. I actually had to throw away things because I had so much stuff collected, and so I would say purge consistently. Don't wait until the last minute. Also, because I never move with him. I move later on because I want my children to be able to finish the school year out. So I would say start packing away the non-essentials first. And then what has also been helpful for me is creating a to-do list. That way I know that I've checked off everything on the list. And that we're good to go when it's time to finally leave.
And how many years have y'all been married? I don't think I asked you that earlier.
We've been married for 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've been together.
How did y'all meet? Yeah.
So Mike was coaching at South Carolina State University and I'm an alumni there, and I was helping out with this Meet the Coaches event. I did not go there expecting to actually meet a coach. And long story short, I was helping out at the table, and it was a fish fry. And of course, he's not a big seafood eater. And so he asked me if I would give him suggestions on a restaurant to eat. And at the end of the night, when I gave him the suggestions, he asked me what would I like to eat for dinner. And so we went out to dinner the first night we met, and then now we're here.
Wow, I love it. I love it. That was pretty smooth. That's good. That's one way to ask a beautiful girl out.
Yeah,
Restaurant suggestions. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you hadn't really been exposed to the coaching world at that point. And then, I mean, now that you're all in, what do you think would be good for people to understand about this life that we live?
Well, I think like for any new wife, just understand that it's, you have your good times, but it's hard as well. And to give your husband grace and, give yourself grace as well when you have those difficult situations that may come up.
And what do you enjoy doing with the coaches' wives on your staff?
Oh, so we have a great staff here. And of course, everyone has children, so it's hard to get together all the time. But one of the things that we all enjoy, we have a weekly dinner. So at that point, we're able to get together and catch up during the week. And it also allows the kiddos time to play together at the facility.
Oh, that's good. Is that like a Sunday night thing?
Actually, it's on Wednesday. Typically it's on Wednesday nights, and so it allows us to have dinner together, the families with the coaches and the players, and so that's been good, and it's been it's been a blessing because it provides us some extra time to spend with our husband during the week because they're typically gone.
Without question. Okay, how do you stay connected to the players in terms of how do you get your kids and all them together? They feel part of that community there at your home and letting them know you care about them.
Oh yeah, one of the things I'm always intentional about just asking them how they're doing, just having conversations with them, and I think that's been good because that way they know that that I care about them, and I'm actually interested in what's going on with them in their life outside of football.
And for you two, do you ever get a date night? I mean, I know you have Wednesday night with the family. You guys ever get alone during the season?
There are some times where I will try to wait for him to come home, and we'll try to watch a show together. Most of the time it's hard now during the season because we have a 9-year-old. And so it's hard to get out. So most of our date nights, maybe she's probably with us, but
same. Yeah. I know it's a date night in the house. Like what we need to watch where everybody can watch the same thing. Sometimes we'll have a little show we get to watch by ourselves. That's always the fun time.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you enjoy doing when you get some downtime? You're working full time. You're a mom. You're president of this organization. So,
you know what? Honestly, I like to binge watch shows on Netflix. Most of my close friends, they know that I love to watch horror movies and horror shows. So yeah, but besides and as well as like Korean drama, so they tease me about that because I will just sit, don't bother me, just let me watch my shows. And besides that, I mean, I go to the gym, and whenever I get some time, I'll try to find something fun to do with my daughter here.
Yeah. Okay, top 2 to 3 favorite memories of being a coach's wife. Years still unfolding as we go here. But so far to date, what's been some of your favorite memories as a coach's wife?
I think just seeing, let's see, when we've won a game that we weren't expected to win, that's been huge. Let's see what else. I think just enjoying, everyone's company during the game, being able to cheer on the team.
So let's talk AFCWA convention. What can you tell us about this upcoming year's convention?
Yeah, so, we're working hard to ensure that we plan another great year for you all. We're finalizing another excellent selection for programs. We also will have the ability for wives to secure childcare this year, because I know that's been huge. That's been a huge issue for wives not being able to come because of that. So they'll have that option as well. Let's see what else. The progressive luncheon, that's always been a huge hit. We'll have that as well for wives, and it's going to be good. We've been working hard to ensure that everyone has a fantastic time.
Okay, so how can someone become a member of the AFCWA?
Yes, so they would visit www.afcwa.org, and from there they can join the membership, as well as if they plan on attending the convention, they can sign up to do so then.
Very good. Okay, where do we go for updates? Social media?
Yes, we have we're on Instagram as well as Facebook. And there's a Twitter account.
Very good. All right. Search it up, AFCWA. And the convention is coming in January in Charlotte. We want you to be a part of it. You'll get to see Natasha and her board and many other wives, as well as myself. Okay. Rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Who is the most famous person in your phone?
Unfortunately, I don't think I have anyone famous in my phone. I don't think so.
Okay, how about Mike Adams?
Well, you know what? Yeah, yes, Mike Adams, of course.
Okay. What's one item in your bucket list you've checked off and one left to check off?
I would say visiting Hawaii, because I've wanted to visit there for such a long time. And so we went there this past summer, and let's see. So one that I want to check off soon, hint, hint, Mike Adams, is I would like to visit Italy, and I want to ride in a gondola.
Oh, that does look fun. Okay, we're sending this to Coach. Okay, who are the last 3 people you have texted?
Let's see, my son, one of my girlfriends, and my mother.
Funniest account you follow on Instagram?
I don't know if I don't have a specific account, but I end up with a ton of funny videos. So I share maybe about 50 videos a day with my friends. I don't have a specific account, but I'm that person that shares all the funny videos.
I love those. Send them to me. Okay. What about your life impresses your kids the most?
For my daughter, I would say my closet. And for my son, I would say that I think my ability to get things done for him.
Love it. Good. What would be your walk-up song?
Oh, you know what? I would say Destiny's Child, Independent Woman.
Yes. I love it with you. That was our generation.
Uh-huh.
That was good music. That and the keys.
Oh yeah.
Keys. Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. Everyone come see us at the convention. Appreciate it. Natasha.
Yes, thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by Ruler of Hope. Ruler of Hope is a nonprofit that supports medically fragile children. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible donation, you can use Venmo at Ruler-Hope or online at rulerofhope.org.
For a replay of this episode or previous episodes, visit coacheswifelife.org and follow us on social media at Coaches Wife Life.